born shall be his tomb, born through the skies on a fog of doom. Now go with the curse and serve me so. Round Stefan's castle, cast my cheat codes!
It's January 7th, 2016. Welcome to episode 79 of the Cheat Codes podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We're glad you're hanging out with us. The next hour is us drinking a few beers and going over our favorite bits from the past week in video game, tech, and pop culture news. My name is Joe Arroyo. I am your host. Today, filling in for Joe Erskine, who unfortunately pricked his finger on an enchanted spinning wheel and is now in a deep slumber, awaiting true love's first kiss. Poor guy. Today, I'm here with friend of the show and returning guest, Mr. Pierce Flora Berg.
I'm going to get that kiss.
Joining us via Skype, Cheat Codes community manager and Boss Key game designer, Mr. Chris Fauna Morris.
Fauna is like a fern or something, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Congrats.
Sure. Or a character from the movie we are referencing.
Oh, shit.
That's fine.
Okay.
And we're happy to welcome back, now as game writer and localization specialist at Plarium Games, Ms. Alexandra Merriweather Lucas.
Hello, good to be back.
Hey, how's the weather over there?
It's Mary.
Good.
Gross.
Today on the show... Today on the show, we're going to sing Beautifully in the Woods with a Stranger about the following main topics. Star Wars fans keep asking, where's Rey? After she's been left out of many Force Awakens box sets and even the Monopoly game. Hasbro claims it was done in an effort to avoid spoilers, as in, spoiler alert, there's a female lead in a Star Wars movie? Although we already had a female lead, his name was Luke Skywalker.
Ooh.
Why do we love achievements so damn much? And even more so when new ones are added to HD remakes of old games. We'll talk about the appeal behind it, and in no way related, I'll give out gold stars for those who make the best points.
Ooh.
The Consumer Electronics Trade Show went down this week with all sorts of tech goodie announcements. One of our favorites was that of a, quote, game console for dogs. If I get this for my pups, I'm sure they'll be competing for the Sit Ubu Sit achievement. And for today's lightning round, we're going to throw the sword of truth at the heart of the following bits. Twitter is announcing that it will be increasing the character limit of tweets from 140 characters to a whopping 10,000. Well, I've got 3,333.3 repeating LOLs for that one. And finally, the Oculus price tag has been announced at $600, and pre-orders have opened. Yay! Clearly, this price point is aimed at the Ethan Couch demographic, so you can virtually flee to a Mexican strip club and avoid violating your parole. Here at the Cheat Codes podcast, we are advocates of lubricating conversation with libations, and today is no different. This show's offering is Double Rainbow by Iron Horse Brewery, a hoppy red ale and a red IPA together. One beer, two styles. Get it? Double Rainbow. I guess it's clever or something.
I got it.
Cool. Hey, Alexandra, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about the new job and what you'll be doing over at Plarium.
So through some magic, I have found my way into a game writer position. It's my dream, so I'm pretty excited. It's with a company that makes browser and mobile MMO RTS games, so... and so their newest one is Nords. It's a lot of fun. Patrick Warburton actually voiced the main narrator tutorial. King Bjorn the Awesome.
King Bjorn
is his name. So, and so I'm going to be, writing and directing some dialogue, writing copy, translating, editing translated text. I don't speak Russian yet.
Soon.
The time is nigh. And maintain IP content Bibles. And so after, I'm going to be a CA, GDC, super excited about that. But after that, I am moving to Ukraine.
Jeez.
So,
Wow.
So we all get to hit you up when we want to come party in Ukraine then, yes?
hell yes. 24-hour
my
karaoke,
gosh.
so just saying.
Not 24-hour karaoke.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing in the world.
I know that's the number one on your list of debauchery in Ukraine.
It's number two, but it might be number one in Ukraine. I don't know what else is there yet, so we might have to shuffle that top five around a little bit.
Well, vodka.
Vodka.
Vodka's number one. Always.
Putin's cologne, and also Putin's calendar. I forgot to mention that to you guys before the show as well.
Sexy.
Yeah. Oh, you've seen
What?
it, Chris. Yeah.
I've seen a couple of shots. It looks good, man.
What is it? Sportswear, lingerie. What do we?
There were a few different things. Some of them were shirtless as well.
Most of them were
Mostly
shirtless.
outdoorsy kind of things. Lumberjack, fisherman.
That guy is like more man than any of us could ever hope to be.
That's the goal of that
Right.
calendar. Yeah, it's like he was going for like the firefighter kind of calendar.
Oh, yeah.
Like that vibe. But no. But yeah, you're moving there.
Have fun.
Oh wow!
Enjoy that. Have
Wow,
you done the CA stuff before at GDC?
Yeah, I got to do it last year. So,
For the listener, what does that entail?
So CA stands for Conference Associate, and it's this crew of volunteers at GDC. You write an essay about why you want to help out at the conference, and if they like it, they pick you. So, and that's. I met a lot of folks last year who work as writers in the industry, and after talking to them about what I should have in my portfolio and whatnot, that's kind of partly how I got to where I am now. So it's a great program.
It's cool. Yeah. So I mean, GDC
Nice.
is like the place to network, and I imagine that getting involved in working behind the scenes as well is probably like networking to the nth
ultimate
degree. Yeah.
Yeah, I got up every day at 6 and went to bed every night at 2 a.m. So that
sounds
a fun
about right.
week.
Yeah, that sounds
Yep.
good. Hey, sounds perfect.
Sometimes meeting at a diner with Mr. Morris here.
Oh,
Yeah.
those were good nights.
Yeah. What?
GDC is the
GDC.
place to network, man. It's
Yep.
the importance of it cannot be understated.
Most deals are done at 1 a.m. at Denny's, from what I understand.
Please, it's 4 a.m. at Denny's.
At least.
It's way later.
Sorry. Or earlier.
They're not done
When
at
is
Denny's.
it early?
They've done it much better diners than Denny's, which is
Yeah.
not hard to do, I guess.
Wherever place we went to, I forget.
I didn't know there were that many like 24-hour places other than Denny's.
Oh, there's a lot. It's great.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not
missing
Redmond.
out.
So.
Oh, yeah. True. Good point. All right, on to the topics. Topic number 1. Today, and recently this week, we've been asking ourselves, where's Rey? And with good reason. Daisy Ridley's character, Rey from Star Wars The Force Awakens, is being repeatedly left out of tie-in merchandise from the film. I will start by kind of saying spoiler alert, but by now, if you haven't seen the highest grossing movie of all time, you probably don't care. So
Shame on you.
She's missing from box sets sold by Toys R Us and Target, as well as the Star Wars The Force Awakens Monopoly. I say that because it's not just Star Wars Monopoly, it's Star Wars The Force Awakens Monopoly by Hasbro. The best explanation given so far was that it was done in an effort to avoid spoilers. So, does anyone buy that?
No, I haven't bought it yet.
I do. I buy it. I actually thought about this a little bit, and I was like, I don't know. I guess right, spoiler alert, but so the poster does a really good job of like pulling kind of like a bait and switch, where John Boyega's character is front and center with the lightsaber, and you're like, oh, okay, like he's the main dude. And because I went into the movie with the perception of he's going to be the dude to like take down the bad guy, I was surprised, albeit like pleasantly so, when I realized that Rey ended up being kind of like the badass main character. And so partly like I kind of buy it. If Disney really came down and like, yo, look, like we don't want to like give too much away before the release of the movie, then like it's a legit excuse. I mean, they should release a DLC or something. Like we can go buy the
Speaking of that,
$5 package.
Monopoly DLC.
Maybe Alexandra can
Force
chime in
Awakens now.
about the your quote unquote DLC concept of this.
Well, it's pretty brilliant. I guess we were both poking around in the news articles a couple hours ago, and in response to the note that a little girl wrote and got posted to social media asking, where's Rey? Hasbro has decided to issue a Rey Monopoly piece. So if you've already purchased the game, you can order it for free, and they're going to add it to the game moving forward.
Yep.
So
That's cool.
So they've already said next topic.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
That Monopoly set came out in what, September?
Yeah,
Like,
it was
well before the movie came out.
the movie came out.
So-
I find it kind of weird,
But
in
still
a way.
weird that it came out so early.
Well, no, I mean I agree with Chris from a certain perspective, but at the same time, I guess maybe if I'm alone on this, correct me, but I had no preconceived notions about the fact that she was going to be a lead character. I saw immediately in the previews I knew that there were going to be 2 leads, and it was going to be Rey and Finn. So I wasn't. That's why I thought it was so weird. Like, I wasn't expecting her to play a Leia role by any means when I saw her character in the previews. Maybe I just perceived them differently at the time.
Not a Leia role, a Luke role. She's the Luke.
No, I'm saying I'm saying that when I saw it, I knew she wasn't gonna play a role like Leia.
I see.
Where she was she looked like a lead to me because it kind of seemed like it was surrounded around her, like most of the previews.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. What do you?
Oh, I'm right there with you. I felt the same way. I was really jarring to see. Well, I mean, there are things like, have you guys looked at how much each actor was paid for being in this film?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
actually, I did look at that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, please enlighten us.
Well, so Daisy Ridley, it said she got paid between $100,000 and $300,000 for the role, versus Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher got 7 figures, and then Harrison Ford, ludicrous, like 20.
Wait, Ludacris was in the movie?
Yeah.
The next one.
Oh, my gosh.
So, but I
Wow.
mean, there are lots of reasons for that, but I think that's really absurd. The 2 stars got, barely
So
paid.
from what I understand about this, because I read the same stuff, is that obviously they have loyalty to the original actors.
Mm-hmm.
So Hamill and Fisher, they got like a decent paycheck because they're going to continue to be in the rest of the movies. Whereas like Harrison Ford, I don't know, maybe he had some apprehension about being in another Star Wars movie. He kind of he's said some things about the Han Solo role. However, like they were like, oh, he's, spoiler alert, only going to be in one movie. So they gave him a fat paycheck. And then John Boyega and Daisy Ridley are fairly new actors. I think even Daisy has even less acting chops under her belt than Boyega might. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So
You're
like
right.
that was the justification for giving them slightly lesser paychecks. I think on the back end, from like a revenue standpoint, they're probably going to make out pretty okay. And I think it gives them, and this is something that happens to new actors frequently with big films as well, is like they get a low starting salary and the franchise takes off and they have a ton more leverage to like negotiate for higher pay in future films. Which totally
Leverage,
makes
yeah,
sense.
but what about, I mean, if she didn't have any kind of royalty deal, then that's absurd still to me. So I don't know if you guys know any information on that.
Does she have a royalty deal or
I didn't
or
see
not?
anything about that.
Then it's
find
still
anything.
absolutely ridiculous. Because I mean, you also think about it too. There are. This isn't entirely true. This might sound wrong, but I think there are a fair number of Star Wars actors that didn't really go on to do much more after it anyway. So I don't think that Star Wars necessarily is a career starter for some people. Because you could argue Harrison Ford, but he also just went on to do stuff for George Lucas anyway. It was Lucas who was doing it. So, and is George Lucas going to do a different series and take Daisy with him?
Well, however, this is for sure a trilogy, and they have to come back, and they know it's a
Wait a
trilogy.
second. Did you just say Harrison Ford hasn't really done much else after Star Wars?
No, I did
Oh,
not
okay.
say that.
It's like, wait a second.
It's not. I was
I don't
saying
know
he
if
was the exception to the rule I was just mentioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Hamill kind of got shafted a little bit too, right? Because like he didn't really get paid a whole bunch of money and have like a crazy popular or successful career afterwards. I mean, he has had a successful
Yeah, he went on to be the
career.
best Joker of all time.
Great
Joker
voice
and,
actor.
and voice actor, yeah.
But him in comparison to like Harrison Ford's film career it's a drastic difference. So I mean, I think it mirrors a little bit what might have happened with the early Star Wars films. But with that said, there's like Disney knew that the Star Wars film was going to make a shit ton of money. So like, why didn't they pay the actors more up front?
That's
it's
the one.
It's a valid question.
Yeah. Before
But
the movie
I'm sure they're going to
even-
get paid bank for the next two.
Right.
Exactly.
But still, before the movie even came out, it was a theme on every like news outlet ever, whether or not this film is going to break the records of the predecessors of the best movies of all time. Enter Titanic and Avatar, right? So they already knew it was going to be a contender for the highest grossing film of all time. Why is there even talks in the hundreds of thousands of dollars range for any actor you get to play a lead role? I think it's silly.
I think it's just because
Sorry.
they're fresh actors.
It
not-
doesn't
not
make
lot
a
of stuff under
difference
them.
to me. Like,
Hey, we'll see what they get
they
paid in the
chose
next
them
movie.
for this film
I'm going to
for a
pose a
reason.
question. and I'm gonna aim it at Alexandra, actually, because I know you've done some voice acting and stuff. So if you had someone come to you with like an opportunity for what was likely to be a huge break in like an acting career, but the paycheck was going to be reasonably low. However, the visibility afterwards was going to be like higher than anything else you could ever hope for. Would that be a good enough reason to take lower pay in exchange for the rest of the benefits? Or would you demand like basically what Hamill and Fisher and Harrison Ford are getting at risk of getting passed on for the role?
Part of me wonders if maybe it was just a bad agent situation, possibly. I would say that would be the major thing I would look into, just research like crazy what is reasonable to ask for. And maybe they did. Maybe that's what they ended up with. But there's also, I don't know if you guys saw the Will Wheaton article a while back about exposure and how the exposure thing is bullshit for artists. And that's like the only way that we're going to get that. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm assuming you've read that.
I haven't read that.
Oh, okay.
I think I remember reading an article about that. I don't remember all the details.
It was Will
though.
Wheaton.
So really random. But well, he wrote an article, and I don't know if some major publication asked, "Oh, can we republish this and you'll get great exposure, but we're not going to pay you?" And he said no, and wrote a big response to that as it not being acceptable because it's devaluing art and writing. So
yeah, I mean, I'd say the same thing. Like, exposure is exposure. So we're not talking necessarily about exposure to just the general public. Like, it's not the idea of necessarily becoming a household name. We could agree, right, that in any profession you ever do, no matter how big or small, there is this whole ridiculous network of politics that will always go on in it. And within that circle, there is a certain amount of exposure that changes your ability to get work later, no matter what the profession is. So in this scenario, it's think about it that way. Like, if you got an offer to be a game programmer at a studio and they said, well, we're not going to pay you, but if you do a really good job, you're going to get lots of exposure and a lot of other companies are going to want to hire you, I would say that's fucking bullshit and I wouldn't take the job. So to me, when you look at it as comparative salaries, she's getting like an hourly wage compared to people who are getting ridiculous salaries when you look at it in the context of a relative pay nature. So to me, I still don't think that it's an acceptable outcome.
I mean, even if you look at the actual work they did in the films, or in the film, there's one now. I mean, she did combat work, and Mark Hamill stood there. I don't know.
Yeah, he was in there for like 10 seconds.
The rage.
And he got paid millions.
Oh my God.
Nice.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's...
I think it's totally reasonable to, in just the amount of competition there is in any field that's like quote unquote artistic, I think it's totally reasonable to sacrifice your compensation in return for potentially future benefits if you're being smart about the decision that you're making and not just getting totally worked over. And I think it's up to the individual that's like producing the work to decide whether or not that's equitable. And for some people it is, and it works out, and other times it is purely just getting taken advantage of. I think in the case of being in a Star Wars movie, you would have to mess up quite a bit in your professional life to not leverage having Star Wars on your resume into like a fairly successful career over the course of the next 10, 20 plus whatever years.
This one,
but anyway,
that hurt my heart a little bit.
I'm sorry.
I'm a music. I did music for years and years and years, and I had to deal with this every day. And I've burned more bridges than I'd like to admit as a result of really wanting to punch people in the face who think that they can completely take advantage of my ability and skill that I worked so hard since I was 5 years old to craft some type of ability at that makes me attractive in that field, just for them to tell me, oh, well, fuck off, we're gonna let you play in front of lots of people and that should be good enough. Like, are you kidding me? Like, pay me what I'm worth because those people are there to see me. I mean, end rant. I won't even keep going. Actually.
No, I don't disagree. It's a super contentious point to make, and I think the majority are going to want to take advantage for their own personal gain. But even still, like, it's just something that if you're gonna have an opportunity available, you gotta weigh like what you're gonna do about it. And there may not always be a right decision. I think still getting paid $300,000 like for a year or a couple of years worth of work is not too terrible, but in the grand scheme of like being in a feature film, it's pretty low on the spectrum, right?
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's since we're gonna wrap up the topic soon, let's try and let's hone it back into a little bit about what the issue apparently is, according to the public and whatnot, in this regard with her being left out. With the excuse that she's been left out of box sets as well and things like that, as it being a spoiler, when it comes down to looking at it as an issue of what people expect, is it just as off-putting to think that why is there an assumption that because they showed both Finn and Rey in the previews that for some reason people just automatically assumed that meant that Finn was going to be the lead? That's an issue with the gender equality thing we have going on right now, especially in the gaming industry and the, like I guess I could argue the sci-fi industry, pretty much anything related to being a nerd today in that regard. Why does that make it acceptable? Why is it a spoiler to say that a female character is a lead in a movie? That doesn't even make sense to me.
It might be because she's the actual Jedi and not John Boyega.
But why would you... So their goal was to pull the wool over your eyes with toys?
Kinda.
Put in a
same,
character...
Same with the trailer. That's what they did with the trailer. And the poster.
Is that okay?
Who has the lightsaber?
Well, when I read Hasbro's statement over again, I saw... So the spoiler bit was they didn't want to give away that she joins the Rebel Alliance. That's at least what I thought I read. But of course she did. I don't know. Of course she was going to do that. I feel like that was fairly obvious from watching her. I didn't interpret her as an evil character. Like, you see Finn, I think he takes his stormtrooper like helmet off in the trailer, right? And so
he's wearing the armor. You can see it in the trailer.
Yeah. So I think that's their excuse, but I know it's not okay.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
Counter question is, why would they want to give away that Finn is going to join the Rebel Alliance? Why is that different than Rey?
Well, wasn't it that they actually didn't want to reveal that she's the one that takes on Kylo Ren?
But what does that have to do with playing Monopoly? And if you put Finn in the place of the little piece on the board as Rey, then that means that Finn takes on Kylo Ren, and that's not a spoiler?
Who knows, man? Like, IP is a slippery slope.
Okay, I just... I get it. Okay, I can play devil's advocate and understand like the points that you made earlier, Chris. Totally. I'm just, I'm looking at it from both sides, and to me, it's still at the end of the day the same spoilers that they're claiming apply to the male character they decided to choose over the female character. So I still have a hard time believing it's not related to like gender issues we have.
I gotta tell you guys one last bit about that. Like, it made my heart sore to see a female Jedi. Like, that was the most badass. I'm going to see it for a third time this weekend because, oh my gosh, it was so empowering.
Okay, when you said sore, I was like, wait, why is that a feel? No, it's
when
great.
She wasn't in Monopoly, my heart soared with excitement.
Oh, it made your heart soar, not like you actually felt like pain.
SOAR.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that is confusing.
No, I got it.
It is.
I got it.
Oh, well. But it's a really big day, so it's something they need to be better about. Agreed.
Yeah, it was. She was fantastic, and it was awesome to see. Everybody who was in that did a great job with their respective roles. I think personally. So we're not going to
especially Mark Hamill. Especially Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill was.
Oh my gosh.
He did as good a job as he could with the lines he was given. Okay, moving on. In light of the digital release of Final Fantasy VII for PS4, that means the original release, not the remake they're making. So everybody needs to calm down about that. David Roberts at Games Radar wrote an interesting op-ed about the appeal of achievements in old games. Although there's much more to discuss, one of the biggest takeaways from the article is this. Achievement lists in games often hint towards secrets and Easter eggs that would be incredibly difficult to find otherwise, and allow the player to approach a game in a whole new light, facilitating experimentation. So our urge to complete checklists in games somehow doesn't feel like a set of chores in our old age. I don't know what the deal is with that, because I just see a list of things I need to do, and I'm like, Mom, I don't want to take out the trash. Discuss.
Maybe.
No, what?
Maybe we'll discuss it.
Oh, no, we won't.
No, I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. I think it's cool with the new games, old games being put onto newer consoles. That, I mean, they didn't have achievements back then, and so it is a cool way to figure out like, oh, you could do this, like that's possible, and now it's an achievement. Yeah, I'll try it out. And that's exactly what this article is about. Is this guy is like, oh, I could totally go on a romantic date with this guy, and I didn't realize like
best bro.
Like I never, I never would have done it until it's an achievement. So now I'll do it.
So when you mentioned giving out gold stars, I got far too excited.
I don't actually have any gold stars. Sorry to disappoint.
I was like, I want to put them on my Trapper Keeper.
With scratch and sniff Snickers or stickers. Snickers,
both.
Is one of them probably smells like
You can sniff
Snickers?
them.
I'm sure.
Oh yikes! No, achievements they make you feel really productive, and I don't know, man. It's but I don't like to go for achievements that affect the way I play. So like I always play good in games. So if anything is like go destroy this thing or kill this person, I'm not gonna do it, and that does make me sad. But it's kind of interesting to have those options and to get something for it if you divert from your normal path.
I guess that brings up a good point, because that's what's so interesting about this concept of doing this with old games, because then if you have time and you want to go back and play something that you have played maybe a couple times or something like way later on when they port it to like PS4, then maybe you would, maybe, right? Because they're giving you this option. Like what you guys mentioned earlier was Dave spotted the best bromance trophy, awarded to those who managed to go on a romantic date with Barrett, which you have to do by making the right dialogue choices throughout the game to facilitate this relationship with him. And you're really drawn to Eris because that's what the game's trying to get you to do, and so you kind of do that naturally, and so it's very unnatural to try and do this because the game is kind of pushing you in a certain direction, right? And so he never thought to do that, but then after many playthroughs and coming back to a game he's played a ton of times, sees this achievement on the list. It's like, you know what, maybe I should try it and see what the outcome is. And is that something that you would do on like a port of something? Like if Fable came back and they had all these achievements for being like ripping the hearts out of everybody in a town, would you?
Wait, didn't Fable come back with a bunch of achievements?
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, well when you go back and play Fable.
I was like, wait a second. No, this is kind of neat, and I'm going to turn into a game designer for a second. Sorry about that. Achievements are kind of the bane of my existence right now, because especially in multiplayer games, achievements are like a really strong motivator to do stuff that you weren't really sure that you even wanted to do to begin with. But with these single player games, especially the re-releases, now that they have achievements, it's kind of cool. It's like, oh, I'll go back and play this game, and I'll like really like kind of plumb the depths of what the game had to offer. So it adds a significant amount of replay value. And like this guy said, like exploring doing stuff in the games in ways that you never even really thought of the first time that you played through it. So I'm like all for this. I hope they keep doing it. I know people are angry about all these re-releases, but I think it's kind of cool.
I don't know why you'd be angry about a game coming out. If you don't want to play it, don't play it.
I guess capitalizing on remaking old games instead of making new ones. But I mean, dude, they're like, if they're relatively inexpensive to remake and they know that people are going to buy them, like, okay, like why wouldn't they do it? Just don't buy it, dude. It's not like they're taking resources away from making other stuff, because I mean, it's not like everyone has unlimited money to just be banging out AAA titles every 6 months, except for Ubisoft and
Except for
Assassin's
some,
Creed,
right?
I guess.
Exactly. Some of the examples of the achievements that we'll call hinted achievements, the kind that are designed to get you to realize something, and some of the things that he realized too are, you can kill Revolver Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, and it causes like a paradox in the series timeline, which is interesting. You can finish a level in the original Halo CE, without jumping at all, and that's an achievement. You can end up shooting Greedo as Han Solo in Super Star Wars in the Cantina level, which apparently I don't know what you have to do that.
That's
but
cool.
but you end up finding out you can do that because that's an achievement. You're like, oh shit, I need to find out how to shoot Greedo. Who shot first? That's another debate. And then the Climber trophy in Shadow of Colossus is interesting because it's giving you a trophy about climbing something in the first level that you didn't know you could do, which hints to there being some kind of like a hidden garden at the top. That how you get there is up to you, but it gives you the idea that there's something there that you didn't know. So I like the idea of this a lot. The concept of going back to a game you've played and finding something you never did before. I like it more when it really affects the story, like the idea of killing Revolver Ocelot.
Yeah, that's cool.
I have no idea.
Or Greedo.
Yeah.
Then it's almost like a new game. That's
right?
great. That's awesome.
Yeah. There are secrets that were once the result of like forum discussions, if you think about it. That was usually how they were found. People had way too much fucking time on their hands and would spend all day finding these things and then posting all of these Easter eggs they'd find, and you had to go in the depths of the internet back when chat rooms were a thing, and you had to hit refresh to see when somebody typed something new. And go ahead, Chris.
No, I remember the Shadow of the Colossus one actually. I don't even know if I was like talking to a friend or reading some forum or something. Like it was well before like Reddit existed, and it was like, yeah, hey, like you can actually like climb up to the top of this thing, and that was kind of like a cool like secret thing that not many people knew about, and even fewer people actually like could pull off. So the fact that they like have these kind of little hints in there, like nods to stuff that people used to like speak about in hushed tones on the GameFAQs forums and shit like that is actually pretty rad.
The other interesting thing is to go off of what you said. There were things that people found that were genuine mistakes in games too, like ways to tunnel through certain walls and end up outside levels, or do things like that. There were bugs, but they were bugs that had a rewarding outcome for the player, and some developers were actually taking those and turning those into the achievements when they do the HD remakes, like find a way to get out of the level or get underneath the map or do things like that. Cool. And I think that's probably the coolest. If I hope and wish that there are more that do that. Yeah. Because then it's very meta. It's like accepting your fate of the bugs that people actually enjoyed. I mean, enter the what was it? I don't remember what it was called, but the massive jumps you could do in Halo 2. If you jump off the exact right spots in multiplayer maps and land in the perfect place.
Yeah, it would launch you, right?
Mm-hmm. You'd go launching into the air like you.
I haven't thought about that in
100 times the height of a normal jump, and you'd end up in places you can never reach.
I haven't thought about that in a decade. Thanks a lot.
They should re-release Pokemon Red and Blue and then have an achievement for getting Missing No, which is just like a total troll because then your game gets corrupted afterwards. But at least you got the achievement for it.
A better achievement.
Worth it.
A better achievement in those games is getting a Mewtwo from the truck or a Mew from the truck. That's totally real.
I don't know what that means.
Mew from the truck. Man. No, I think that was.
Yeah, look it up. You can totally do it. Look it up.
Dude, I looked up every like how do you get Mew like rumor to circulate the internet ever.
That was like the biggest one.
None of them were real.
Nope.
Oh, so they were trolls to get you.
It was like there's a truck next to like a seaport or something, and you're supposed to like go up to it and like press it a bunch of times, and eventually Mew comes out or something, and there's just nothing there.
Oh man, just got a great idea. If anyone wants to get on board with this with me, a strategy guide version of the Onion.
Yeah.
Why did you just give everyone ever that's listening to the podcast, so all 5 people, that awesome idea?
It's like GameFAQs, but you spell it FACTS, like, because that's what most people who don't know games will think. They'll be like, I'll go to GameFAQs.com.
No, it should be GameFAQs, FAX.
Yeah,
that works.
There we go.
Works too. It'll make that old like 56K modem sound when you first go to the website.
We only accept guides through our fax number, so you actually have to like find a fax machine and send them in.
Well, wouldn't that be great though? Because you only have to get a handful of gullible people to come onto the site, and you just get them to do the dumbest things in a game at a certain section, and they just end up losing all their lives. Like you find the most unrecoverable save points, and you make them do the worst things.
But you got to sprinkle in like actual.
I'm gonna make a new website for us this weekend, I think.
Oh my gosh! But you got to sprinkle in like actual like real hints, so people don't just think all of them are fake.
Well, the best thing to do is to find that unrecoverable section, right? But you make the rest of it completely legit until they reach that one point, and then you screw their save, and they can't do anything about it.
So Dark Souls first?
Yeah. Basically,
yeah.
Dark Souls would be the first one you'd do.
People have already figured out like everything there is in Dark Souls, so it'd be like impossible to troll anyone at this point.
All you need is the thing is the troll only needs to affect I think one person for me to get a good laugh out of it.
to be successful.
Yeah. If I know that somebody broke someone's heart, I don't know why that makes me so happy. It shouldn't. All right. Well, more on that later. Maybe you'll see that from us.
God.
Okay. Next.
GameFAQs.com.
Yeah. GameFAQs.com. Next topic. Introducing the CleverPet Hub on pre-sale at CES this week. It is being called the first game console for dogs. I did air quotes in case anyone was wondering. It was created in an attempt to keep our poor lonely pets busy while we're away at work all day. It accomplishes this by entertaining your furry friend via various light and sound games that award them treats upon successful completion. It's basically a high-tech dog bowl that has buttons on it. It's cooler than that, but I just wanted to dumb it down for you. It starts out simple. Your pup can simply press any of the 3 buttons and a treat will pop out. So that's cool. Once the game determines that your dog has mastered that skill, it changes difficulty, much like the way that progression systems work in video games that we understand today. And now they'll only receive a treat if they press the correct button that is lit up. Not just any button, and so on. Then they move on to patterns and sounds associated with it. And I don't know. I think this is awesome. There's a part of me that wants to get it. I'm curious what everybody else thinks.
I have 2 questions about this. Number 1 is why isn't it using the butt sniffing pugs controller? I feel like that's a missed opportunity on Gabe's part, and I think we need to make sure to contact him so that he can remedy that ASAP. And my second question is, will the dogs be able to earn achievements?
Well, the achievement's the award.
Oh, they'll only get the achievements in the HD remastered version.
It's a treat.
Okay,
The
so
treat
the
is the
re-release.
achievement.
No, because an achievement needs to have like some progression toward it. So it's like earn 50 treats over the course of I don't know. In any case, there needs to be like a master treat that you get in the end, like a gold treat and then a platinum treat to show off to your friends.
But then actually they don't do anything. They're not actual treats, just like achievements.
It's just Metascore. It's just dog Metascore.
They get more dog points.
This is working under the assumption that your dog gives a shit that it's getting anything other than a treat. Like it just wants the treat.
Maybe the treats get progressively more delicious.
Like this one is the first ingredient is corn, and then when you get to the end, it's salmon.
Yeah, it's like some high-end like meat from somewhere.
Just caviar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caviar from my dogs.
I think dogs would eat anything though. I honestly I think their own shit probably tastes just as good to them as like fresh veal.
That's interesting because that's the second version of it where the dog learns how to you potty train them to take a dump in it, and then it just recycles that into treats for the remaining game. It's economical for everybody. You should check that one out.
That sounds perfect.
Oh my God.
That one's not real, by the way.
had me so excited.
What do you think of this idea? The first one, not the one I just came up with.
The one you just came up with made me think of Waterworld. It made me.
Oh god.
Or
my
like
cider
Human
tasted like
Centipede.
pee for a second.
Sorry for that.
No, when I first read this, before I saw that you could customize it and everything, I was scared that there wasn't a treat cap. So you'd be coming home to like an exploding dog.
Yeah, seriously.
So, will this make... I think one of the selling points I thought I saw was that they wouldn't be lonely.
Yeah.
So is this
Have
really going
something
to
to do.
make them less lonely?
Well, give
I don't know.
them something to occupy their time while you're
Do.
gone. Yeah.
I mean, I like that you can make sure your dog eats. We all have really busy schedules and everything. That could enable more people to have pets. That's actually kind of cool. Like my perpetual thought is, well, my dog would starve because I'm never home. But,
Scary. Class A felony.
Jesus. Well, not when I had my CleverPet. But I think that's good. I do wonder what kind of trickle effects of us just spending less time with our dogs because we have the CleverPet.
It couldn't be any worse than parents spending less time with their children, right? Like plop them down in front of the TV, hire an nanny, give them some instant mac and cheese, and they're set.
My concern with your concept of now maybe more people could get dogs is that if your dog's not smart enough, they're going to starve to death.
Oh, God, they will. No.
No, they'll tear that
Sir
thing to shreds
Percival,
before they
no.
starve to death.
I think there's got to be some kind of timer on it, right? Where at some point and this would totally break the whole system. It would just be like, okay, here's your treat, dummy. And then, but then the dog would get smart to that and would just sit there all day and be like, when is it treat time? I don't need to do anything.
I just want to come home to the dog that like looks back at you with like this really sad expression on its face, and you see like the score indicator up top that just says 0, and you're like, you know that he knows that you know that he is dumb and he couldn't figure out shit.
And now you gotta finish the game for him. You gotta play it for him, so then he can get treats.
You can't just give him the answers, then he'll never learn.
Maybe there will be different levels of CleverPet, remedial CleverPet.
Or just don't get it if your pet's not clever.
Well,
Like,
this
just
is the
get
part
dumb pet
where
version.
they said there's not a lot of testing that's been done, but they're trying to kind of mitigate this idea of like when you reward them or how you track how smart they are, I guess. And so the device can be connected to Wi-Fi, and the frequency of the games can be customized with an app to suit any dog. By any dog, they mean dumb or smart, apparently. The app provides owners with live updates to see how their dog is doing, as well as the ability to change settings at any time. So as an owner, you can be at work and it's like, boop, your dog got a treat. Boop, your dog got a treat. And you're like, my dog's going to get fat. Stop treats. Like, there's got to be a way, so
Or
it's
you
nice.
never get notified and you're just like, oh.
Aw. I got the run of the litter. It's a great idea. I think that's probably the thing that eased some of my concerns. The idea of having the Wi-Fi, a little bit of parental control. If you're one of those dog owners who thinks you're a parent as well, God bless your soul.
Is there a penny
It should also
worth
have
of that?
like a front-mounted camera that takes a picture of the moment that your dog gets a treat and auto-posts it.
Auto post it to
Twitter,
Facebook,
Instagram,
yeah.
Facebook.
Auto tweet that for me. Just tweet that for me.
So good.
Oh my god, my dog just got a treat just now. Just cry.
He's so smart. It's the smartest dog ever.
Think about all
Oh my
the
God.
likes you
Look
would
at this
get.
cute Instagram picture of my dog eating its treat.
Unfollow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
It should be noted that there was interest in this prior because it was funded through Kickstarter that started in 2014, and it surpassed its $100,000 goal by more than $80,000. So
Jeez.
enough people wanted to fund it to almost double the output of it. So hopefully that meant that they were able to add twice as many buttons with that money.
Nice. I'm pretty sure all that Kickstarter money was just actually pets who stole their owner's credit card information and went online and Kickstarted this.
Well, then they need to make a more clever console.
Are you a dog? Yes or no?
the dog's like, oh my god, I really want that 10,000 back in the reward.
Why did I got the weirdest vision? Probably because it's so close to Christmas, where of Home Alone 2. I pictured a dog having a talk boy where they slowed down their voice and they got a hotel reservation in New York
to hang out with their clever pet.
Yeah. Credit card, you got it.
Hi kids, we're home early.
All right, panel. It's time for the lightning round. Here's how it works. We're going to take 2 quick topics and give each member of the panel a minute to chime in, uninterrupted for the most part. At the end of each minute, we will award the panelist points based on nothing in particular at all. So, on to the first one. Since Twitter's inception, tweets have been limited to 140 characters, something that's been hailed as both a handicap and, I would say, the signature characteristic of the service. However, Twitter is ready to shed those shackles and increase the limit to 10,000 characters, internally dubbed, quote, beyond 140. So, things to ponder. Does this destroy the fundamental core of what makes Twitter Twitter? Will this be another flop like the Twitter Moments disaster that everyone loves so much? Yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys think. For the first minute, who do I want to give it to? I don't know. Let's do Pierce Berg for the first minute. Ready, go.
All right, so I think this is really dumb. I've used Twitter for a while now, and I like the 140 characters. It makes you have to be concise with it, and it's fun. People have been using another site called like Twit Longer, where they link to there from their actual tweets, where it's like a way longer tweet. And like, that's just defeating the entire point. It's really dumb, especially when they tweet multiple times in a row to talk about one thing. You're still missing the point. But I think their justification for this, or like one of the reasons they think this will be okay, is because you can still do 140 characters, but then you can just press something that says continue reading or something. So it will keep your experience. But if you're reading a tweet that's longer than 140 characters, you're going to have to press that to see the rest of it. Yeah. And that means like you can't just get the entire tweet in 140 characters if they're going to write more than that. So I think this is really dumb. Also, I completely hate their moments thing. It's been the biggest waste of my time. On my phone, I pressed it once and it was dumb.
It was good. Good use of a minute.
I wasn't looking at
I will award you 200 characters.
Oh, wait.
Which means you went over.
I went over.
Please, you went over in time.
Please continue listening to me.
Some would argue that that's more of a currency. So it could be good or bad. Depends on how you look at it. Okay. We'll move on to Alexandra next.
All right.
Go for it.
So extending the character count is going to kind of make me wonder why I need Facebook and Twitter. I mean, Facebook is 63,000-ish characters. So it's still a lot more, but I mean, you know, keeping it short makes it easier to update regularly and harder to humble brag and overshare. So I just think Twitter is a really nice medium for quick little updates. So I think that'll ruin that. People will definitely abuse it. So Twitter stated that they want to stimulate user growth and get more engagement, but I just really don't see the connection here. Also, if people don't have to be concise, we could miss out on gems like hashtag Al-Qaeda and hashtag Vanilla ISIS, and that would just, oh man, the world would just be a little darker without those. So.
Oh, that was...
I want to give her points. I love that.
I think in the spirit of Twitter, we should like the lowest score wins, or kind of like golf par.
That's kind of where I was at. I was about to give her exactly 140 characters because that's when you get it perfect. That's like the perfect tweet, right?
Well, you want to be if you're hitting 140, you're capping out, so you want to like make sure you get it all in like kind of under the limit.
But if you end with a period, if you end with punctuation, you're good.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll give you 140 characters that ended with a period. It's it's like a perfect pump at a gas station, you know. You get the exact dollar.
It's like 4000.
Hell yeah, that's
hashtag thanks. Hashtag sorry.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Okay, Chris Morris, ready to go.
All right. So yeah, it's supposed to be like a business decision to increase engagement. I mean, it's no secret that Twitter's stock price has been declining. They're shedding users to Snapchat, Instagram, whatever. Like that's where all the money's going. I think it's a terrible idea. Like Shakespeare said, something like brevity is the soul of wit, and I mean he's got it. Like that's the perfect part of Twitter, dude. Is like you got to be concise, you got to be funny, and you got to do it in like a very short amount of time. We wouldn't have gems like thank you, like hashtag Al-Qaeda is great, and also emo Kylo Ren. Come on.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So anyway, with that, it's a horrible idea, and I'm gonna drop the mic.
Okay. I will give you 100 characters plus a small clipped link to a sonnet by Shakespeare.
Thank you.
What's Shakespeare's Twitter account? I haven't been following him, but he sounds like he's saying the good stuff.
Emo
Shakespeare.
I'm not sure.
Okay. In an effort to not repeat everybody, I'll try my best. Because I agree with all you guys, but what I'm interested to find out about this, other than having an opinion about whether or not it's good or bad, because we all know it's a dumb idea, is whether or not grammar is going to get better as a result of moving to this longer format. The short answer is probably no. It's going to just be more concise words and crap grammar that just gets extended for longer periods of time, thus making, like, instead of one eye twitch, I'll probably just be twitching with both eyes, which is really just blinking at some point, and I don't really know what to do with that. It's going to be frustrating, and then everybody's going to move back over to Facebook, where at least we can, comment on how bad your grammar is without, making a tweet that everyone has to look at. The other thing I'm wondering is, whether or not, I don't know. I don't have a good thought on. I just think it's a bad idea, and I don't want to repeat everybody, so I'll let it go.
I'm going to give you one like for that. One like for Twitter.
One like, one heart.
Yeah, one heart.
Maybe people can say more than just thoughts and prayers go out to.
Oh my gosh.
No, my favorite part of Twitter is when you have people who are like high up in like government who like make a tweet that's too long, so they have to start cutting out words, and they just put like an R. And like, oh, this is like the governor of my state, and just saying like you are
because they have to cram it.
I love that so much. It's my favorite thing.
Follow. There was like that Twitter drama about like the girl that met the other girl at Hooters, and they went to Vegas, and there were like crazy, like there was like a drug deal going down, and people got shot and all this.
What?
And it was
I remember that story. Yeah.
The whole story like took place over the course of like 40 tweets or something, and now it's getting adapted into a movie. But if it was like a 10,000 long tweet, no one would have read it. But the fact that it was like bite-sized chunks, you're like, I can't stop reading.
Exactly,
it's
and it's coming in real time. That's the best part.
Right. Oh, that is, I suppose, the final point before we move on. And you basically said it, was that you can't really live tweet anymore. Like I'm at an event and I'm live tweeting because there are 10,000 characters. It's like, hey, everyone expects you to wait until it's over and make one tweet that we're not going to read.
Well, microfiction is an art, right? I mean, the whole what is it? For sale baby shoes never worn. Like, it's fucking perfect. And that's Twitter enables that kind of stuff. No, I mean, for
Wait, what is that? For sale baby shoes?
Oh, I thought maybe it was
it's
a reference to
real,
something that.
Well, I think it's Hemingway. I want to say wrote that. Yeah, like that you can tell an entire story.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm totally with you. That makes sense.
I thought it was like a parody Twitter account.
That's what I thought for a sec.
geez.
But now I understand.
Yeah, emo Ernest Hemingway.
Well, there was the
it should be a Twitter handle: for sale baby shoes never worn.
Oh God.
Did anybody see the live tweets of that girl who watched Star Wars for the first time?
No.
Oh my God.
Why did
now I
have
have to.
What?
Why'd she have her phone out in the theater?
No.
Shame on her.
No, not Force Awakens. She had never seen any Star Wars movie, and she got she got 4, 5, and 6 on DVD, and tweeted that she was about to watch it for the first time, knowing nothing about it, and that she was going to live tweet her experience.
Oh, that's great.
She refers to Darth Vader as Space Voldemort. I'm serious.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, I think Indiana. She just says like Space Indiana Jones. Everything about it is pretty perfect, because she actually she starts out the sequence assuming that Space Voldemort is the good guy, like he must be good.
Wow. All right.
Well, she ends up being right.
That is okay.
Anyway, all right. I recommend everybody go check that out. And moving on to the final lightning round topic. We are currently in the wake of a polarized debate over the Oculus pre-order price tag. The internet is split between those willing to write a blank check to get the damn thing, and those who find the price ostentatiously offensive to their eye holes. So coming in at a $600 price tag, one will receive the Oculus headset, an Xbox One controller, and the sensor, but no motion controllers that come with it. So at $600, that's what you're going to get on day one with this pre-order. And we're going to go around the horn and figure out how people feel about that price tag. And I'm also interested to know in your minute whether or not you're actually personally interested in purchasing this as well at this time, to be specific. So I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to give it to Morris first.
So I think the 600 price tag is actually perfectly reasonable. I think all the people complaining about it actually was good marketing for Oculus in the long run. They sold out of them. I don't know how many units, but in 10 minutes. So cool. I think it's terrible that they're already fracturing their player and development base by not including the motion controllers with the headset on day one. It's like you get to pre-order a place in line for the controllers. That's kind of bullshit. At least they get to say it's going to be cheaper than the HTC Vive, even though it's not really going to be, because by the time the controllers come out, it'll probably be the same price or more. But whatever. I'm going to buy one. Not right now. Maybe later down the road or the next iteration, but definitely going to pick one up. They're all going to cost about the same. Price tag's reasonable. Maybe Sony will do it cheaper, hopefully. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know what to award you for that in regards to VR. I'm thinking, I don't know. Anyone have a good one? What do you want to give him?
Give him a dev kit. DevKit 2. You get a DevKit 2, not even a Crescent Bay.
You get a DK2.
Get a DK2.
I will give you the DK2 that is likely collecting dust in Nick's room upstairs. You could do whatever you want with it. I hear that Elite
VR
Dangerous
porn.
is cool. Yeah, or VR porn, I suppose. That's a thing. All right, I'll take the next minute. I think the price tag is fine. It's really high, and so is every other new technology that ever comes out in the history of ever when it first releases. Does anyone remember when PlayStations were horribly expensive? Okay, so that was a thing. This is no different to me. This is one of those situations where people need to exercise some goddamn patience, because if you just wait, it'll go down in price, and it's not going to be that great. Let's face it, not for a while, not for a long while. And I do recall there being an episode in the recent past where we discussed the fact that nobody wanted to beat anyone else to market because they wanted to work together to make sure that VR was absolutely perfect before they released it. And then Oculus is like, fuck it, $600. Who wants to buy one? And I think that's really weird coming right off the back of this article that we had just got done talking about. So I think I'm not really interested in getting it at all at this point, but I don't think the price point's like ridiculous. I mean, it is, but it makes sense.
I think you got a Sony Morpheus for
I
that
get it.
one.
Oh, great.
Yeah, sorry,
Not
buddy.
a Google Cardboard?
No.
Samsung Gear.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm going to award you, a Samsung Gear.
$99 worth of cardboard.
Well, because Alexandra is the only guest to ever bring notes to the podcast and has now done it the second time, I'm gonna save her for last.
Oh, snap.
Because they're always good.
Oh God.
I know, no pressure. So
No,
Pierce,
we have someone else that did notes for the podcast. Alice.
Alice Taplin did.
notes.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely right, and she ended up having one of the best lightning rounds.
She won the lightning round.
Yeah, she did. All right. Well, no pressure again. Pierce,
I'm going to win this one.
Go ahead and give us a suboptimal minute.
I think since this is the first one to be released, I think the price point is okay. I think the Oculus, I've only tried the DevKit 2. I think the Crescent Bay really improved on that, and I've tried the Vive out, and I'm so in love with that, and that's mostly because of the controllers. I think because this is the first one to be released since the Virtual Boy, keep in mind, that I think they're okay with a $600 price point for the second generation of VR, especially since this is just like basically like a new technology that people have really explored for the past 2 decades, and I think that since it sold out, it did sell out like the first day, which was really amazing, and I think it's gonna be fine. But I'm personally holding out for the Vive and seeing where that's gonna place at, and I think that could be around the same range, but it will include their controllers, which are super awesome, and I love them. But then there's also the Sony Morpheus, which I think they said would be around the same price point as the PS4, and that's all I gotta say.
Cool. I'll give you a 5.
Yes,
but you can't have it yet because it's not out.
damn it.
I'll put you on the waiting list to purchase a Vive for whatever price it may be, and you're also going to pay for it. So I basically did nothing for you.
And you won't know the total until you've actually already paid for it, and then it'll let you know what tax and shipping was.
Oh, fantastic.
I'll purchase for you. You can just cash me later. Just send me on the
that.
Cash App.
Well, I've sent you, accidentally I sent you like $1,000, but whatever.
Yeah. One time I bought Pierce a beer, and he moved a decimal in the wrong place when he recashed me on an app. And I said, I'm receiving $650 from Pierce.
Dude, that is such a good idea. Get your friends drunk and then have them pay you back digitally.
Oh yeah, they'll always mess it
amazing.
up. Yeah, that was a great idea. Okay, final minute goes to Alexandra.
Well, I just have one question regarding this entire thing. You know, why drop $600 on the Oculus when I can throw up for free?
Oh my God.
That's it.
Are you seating your? Oh my god!
Hey, you just got yourself a free
Wait, can I give you
Oculus
a mic
Rift.
to actually drop? Let me just kind of go like that. Damn. I'm surprised that nobody brought that up prior to the last minute, because that was my biggest issue with it. No matter how much I thought I could handle it, 15 minutes in, I'm like, it's not going well. I'm watching people like Nick Golish play the demo of being in a squirrel suit, and you can flip over 360 degrees upside down, and he has no problem with it, so he just like does the trick where you just keep spinning. I'm watching the preview on a screen and getting sick.
Oh my god.
So I guess it depends on who you are, but I am one of the people that can.
I think I'm just excited for VR to become a new technology, and I'm glad that this first generation is coming out from such big game companies, or such rather just big companies like, Facebook and Valve and Sony are releasing the first generation of VR. And I think it's going to be really improved after this. And they waited so long from making those dev kits to actually releasing them that I think it'll be good.
Well, I agree. They're obviously you have to start somewhere, and if it means puking at the beginning, I mean, some of us still get car sick. And they haven't changed cars to make that better.
You should grow up.
I didn't say I did. All right, unless I'm in like the back seat and reading, then
It's asking for it.
yeah.
Hey, I'll drive you around. You can put on like a dev kit and we'll see how it goes.
Oh God! Put me in the back seat and let me read a virtual book with my VR.
Yeah, virtual Kindle.
But that actually wouldn't have any effect because I'm pretty sure
that'd be hell. Like, so I get sick reading in cars too. So like a VR game where you're in a car and you have to read a book the whole time. Would it just cancel?
I kind of want to make this.
Oh my God! You're talking about making a VR game where you're reading a book in a car?
Yeah.
What if you played that in a car?
Yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you have to play it in a car while reading a book in VR.
In a car.
I'm bringing this. I'm still going to bring this to the Indie Mega booth next year. I'm going to see how many people I can make puke. It's going to be the best booth.
I would be surprised if somebody didn't make games that were completely designed to make you puke and we're actually aware of that, self-aware. Like right now it's like we're trying not to, we promise, and you're like bleh, but now I want to see the one where it's like, how long can you not puke game? Like, it's like that Don't Stop Talking or The Bomb Explodes.
Oh yeah,
it's like the game's just called You're Gonna Puke, like at some point. But whoever holds the high score is the one who held out.
Mark my words, like give it 1 or 2 more years, we're going to be going up to the IGF booth, and there are just going to be buckets there in front of the demo station. And you'll be like, why is there a bucket here, and why is that guy carting one away?
It's one of those, if you make it an incredibly obvious name too, then they only have themselves to blame if they want to demo your...
I wonder if PAX would totally, allow this kind of booth. Like,
definitely.
Hey, we're going to have people puking at our booths. You guys cool with that?
I feel like we're on, we've done there have been 2 really good discoveries. There's the Game Facts Onion version and the Puke Simulator VR game that will be coming soon.
Actually,
to a car near you.
I kind of want to make someone play Surgeon Simulator with VR, but in a car that's just being like driven around like a track, like high speed. Not even for the puke factor, just like how are they going to control it when they're being tossed around in a car trying to do surgery?
I still think there's going to be a puke factor there.
Sounds fun.
Okay. Well, I think we did it. Aside from our amazing discoveries that you may not steal because this is legally binding and a poor man's copyright, that I will mail this episode to myself, so it's dated. Episode 79 is all over. Thank you for being here, dear listener, and know that we're always curious to hear what you think. So please hit us up on cheatcodespodcast.com, Facebook, Twitter in 10,000 characters. Tell us how you feel about the show. Get in on the conversation. Stay tuned for a new episode coming next week. We've got a bunch of great stuff planned, so stay with us in the coming weeks and months. We'll see you next time, and remember, stop arguing over the color of a dress. It's just going to give away your whereabouts.